Babe, I'm leaving. I must be on my way.
Wow, you're pulling out some sticks this morning, huh?
Time
or
is
it's not even morning, it's like night.
It doesn't matter what time of day it is.
All right.
This show is generic enough. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. Every time I see Dennis DeYoung on our intro, right? When he's babe, I'm leaving.
I think that was one of the best interviews that I think I've seen him give in a long time.
Dennis
he was
DeYoung
super
was
funny. It was just super cool. We were in the studio with him. It was like we're having like this backseat, hangout session with him.
Well, remember
and, our viewers got to be a part of it.
It was funny. I still remember when you said, and as we'll let everybody light up before we start the show, you were like, wow, Dennis, what a great background with all those awards and albums. He goes, yeah, Suki, I'm in Sting's studio right now. Remember that? He's like, that's Sting stuff behind me. Listen, great show last night. Elaine Hendricks from Parent Trap, and of course David Leaf was on. We got to get David back because I don't even think a half hour was enough for him to get all his stories going.
I mean, we didn't even get into the whole Bee Gees documentary.
Yeah,
and you know what? He was teaching a class on docs and musics, right? Docs and docs.
Yeah. Docs and music. He had his UCLA Herb Albert School, the UCLA Herb Albert School.
Remember Herb Albert?
Herb Albert see, I get him confused with Chuck Mangione. Wait, now is that Chuck? That's Chuck Mangione, right?
Of course, that's Chuck Mangione.
Right. So which one? Herb Albert was which one? Did Herb Albert do the What's the music that Luke raped Laura to on General Hospital?
Yes, that's
right?
it.
And the nightclub, is that Herb Albert?
I think that is.
Anyway, Suk, we got a great show coming up.
I don't want to Look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
Herb Albert is also another classical trumpeter. Is he a trumpeter?
Yeah, like Kenny G.
Like Kenny G. No, Kenny G is a clarinet. Ooh, he's a clarinet.
We got Brian Balthazar coming.
He's a clarinetist.
He's a pianist, Suki. A pianist. A small pianist.
A trumpeter, but a clarinetist.
I don't know. Anything wind, the wind works. Whatever the hell you call it. Yeah, the wind works. Brian Balthazar coming up in just a little bit. Brian, of course, insanely funny, talented TV personality. Also the guy with executive producer. He launched the 4th Hour, the Today Show with Hoda and Kathy Lee. And back, in around 2016, he was the co-executive producer of The View. Which
got a bunch of stuff for HGTV. Right? Yeah.
Oh man, he's all over it. Suki's got a new show coming out on AGT, but I think his biggest thing, I got to ask him about this.
Not AGT, HGTV.
HGTV. We had the girl on the other night.
AGT, yes.
But I think his biggest feat was playing Otto the Orange at Syracuse. He was.
He played Otto the Orange.
He was Otto the Orange. Suki, I got to ask him about that. That was award-winning.
His time in Cuse when he was a student at Syracuse.
Yeah, I was right up the block in Oswego.
Oh my God! Did you?
I was further north, Suki. I was further north.
Did you ever hang out with kids in Syracuse, or was that just?
I did, Suki. I pulled off a money scam in Syracuse. So
that's good. They had a lot of money in Syracuse.
With a fake raffles.
I love that.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you about that one day. I had a fake raffle, and we traveled down to Syracuse to scam all the kids in the apartments out of $1 each. It worked out pretty well.
I love it. I mean, it's harmless. What's $1 now? I mean, what is $1?
For an opportunity to win a car, Suki, by the way.
For an opportunity
that was my scam. You ready to rock and roll?
Always.
Get the show
Scotty,
going?
let's do it.
Everybody's loaded up. Let's hit it. Here we go, baby.
The Suki and Scott Show.
This is one of the funnest shows I've ever done.
Lady, when you're with me, I'm smiling.
It's musical. It's magical.
Suki and Scott, that's 7 of Hearts. Woo! Exactly.
This is a sexy show.
Someone's getting some action.
Now, these larger-than-life personalities are on an exciting new journey as they bring you The Suki and Scott Show.
You guys nailed it. You're great. You ask great questions. You listen.
I answered you because I have respect for you guys, and it was a question respectfully put.
The Suki and Scott Show is your one-stop destination for humor.
You like De Niro and Cape Fear. Counselor!
Entertainment.
Jesse's girl.
Wonderful.
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
And optimism.
You guys have such amazing energy.
Ultraviolet light, it gets in there and it just fights the kung flu. Is that right? Okay.
Let's laugh together.
I love him.
The Suki and Scott Show.
That's the best intro for a show I maybe have ever seen.
Really?
Your intro is fantastic.
Because you know it's you, babe. I always forget Eric Roberts is at the end of that, and I'm ready to come on, and he jumps on.
And he's still there.
Charlie, my finger, Charlie. They broke my finger.
Listen, let's say hi to some of the kids that have tuned in right now.
It's been a while. Yeah, say hello to everybody.
Jeannie Clay, Terry Hetrick, Dorish, Shiznaki.
You can't say that now. Let me put it up. Hold on. Wait. It's it's Doris Shinchakagnaki Ganok.
Doris, we're killing your middle name. I'm so sorry. It's probably like her maiden name too.
David
Jeannie
Wolf.
Clay, Lee Down, Yvonne Burns.
Yeah, how about BB Shamim, Sue? BB Shamim
BB
is watching
Shamim is
tonight.
here.
Yeah,
okay.
They come from all over the world, Sue.
Doris Knock. That's what I'm
All
just
over
going to
the
say.
world.
Doris.
So, Sook, listen, before Brian
and
comes
Pam
on.
Apolloni and
Pam
Autumn
Apolloni,
Courier.
They're all here. Loyal.
Our loyal
viewers.
tribe.
Sook, listen, just want to remind everybody, here's all the places we're on right now.
Look at this, folks. Look at this.
Yeah, we're going to need a bigger graphic or smaller logo.
I say we make it two screens.
We're going to need two screens. Fire TV, Apple Plus, Suki, Roku. I didn't even put on there. Tubi starts up soon. But we're rolling along all over the place. Syndication, digital streaming. We got me. So
and on ABC, on ABC stations,
Byron Allen Station in Wisconsin. We got another station in Michigan. Sook, we're taking I always wanted to say we're taking meetings. We're taking meetings, Sook, left and right now.
We had a good meeting today too.
Yeah, we had a couple good meetings today, and things are cooking. They take a little time here in this broadcast business, but we will get to where we need to be.
We will peel it all back, hopefully.
When Brian comes on later on, I got a great quiz for you guys. He's a pop culture guy, and we're gonna play the the celebrities, young and old, where I'm going to show you guys the young
those
pictures.
Are always good. Yeah.
You got to tell me who they are. But so here, real quick. So before we bring Brian in, so I got so much going on in my brain, and I just get you forget stuff, and so I ran out to Whole Foods before because
you got to get dinner.
Because I barbecued dinner for my wife and daughter before we come. I come down to the.
Lara's so lucky. Lara is so lucky.
And I'm checking, I do the self-checkout at Whole Foods, and I got people texting me, and I'm trying to, I'm doing everything at once. I get in my car, I drive home, and I grab the groceries, and I'm like, but something's off here. Something's not right.
What?
And then
it's light. It's light.
Suki, I realized that
you took the whole damn basket.
It's a good thing I didn't have a cart with wheels. I would have put it in my car. Suki, I left with the Whole Foods thing. I hope they're not looking for me. They probably watched me on the camera.
God, that is so funny. You left with the whole basket.
I walked into my house. I said to my wife, I'm like, you're never going to believe this. And I couldn't even figure out what the hell was wrong. Something was off.
And you were thinking the whole time you're carrying it to your car, putting it in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Suki, I just right into the car and I left. And you know what? That's kind of the way it should be, I think. I think you just grab one of these.
What did Lara say when she walked in with the basket?
You're a moron. She took a picture, and of course, she had to send it to everybody.
To all her friends, who, by the way, are amazing.
Yeah. We had fun.
We got to meet them at your bat mitzvah. Yes.
So good. Yeah, that was a fun time. But
Scotty, that is hysterical. The whole time you put it in the trunk, and you didn't think anything that you had the Whole Foods basket.
This portion of the Suki and Scott Show is brought to you by Whole Foods. So listen, I'll bring it back tomorrow, and I'm gonna be like, "Didn't you people even know I left with your thing?"
And they won't. I think you should film it.
Oh my gosh, so funny. But anyway, listen, you ready for Brian? I can't wait to talk to him. He's
Brian
in our business.
Balthazar time.
I love talking to
He's
guys
so
like
funny.
him.
He
Here
is
we
so
go,
funny,
Sue.
and the videos he posts just about kill me all the time.
Yeah, great stuff. I saw his top 5 things we say now that we didn't say when we were
that
younger,
was so funny.
which was pretty good. But here's Brian Balthazar. What? Go ahead.
He put a video about power washing is being sexy. Like he just tagged somebody else.
Yeah.
I
I
have
love
never
power.
laughed so hard because that's what happens when you live in the suburbs.
Oh, forget
Power
it.
washing becomes very sexy.
Look, I got one. I got mine sitting right outside. Here we go. Brian Balthazar, and he's coming up on the other side. Take a look.
That's better than my own resume reel. I was like,
Did you like the music we had? It was like, the Beach Boys were like hanging out in LA.
and make no mistake of the many blonde hair fluctuations and variations.
Yeah. You're a man with good hair, Brian. Good hair,
good highlights. It's all happening there, Brian.
Wow. Thank you. So great to be here. This is very exciting. Thank you so much.
And this time it's not like 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
Can I tell you a funny story? So back when we'd be up early in the morning, this is a weird, really digging deep into the weeds. I have this weird eye condition that I didn't know what it was at the time for years. So I would have to measure everything. I was blind as a bat the whole time because I didn't have it solved. So I would just be like hoping I remembered everything. I'd write myself notes, but if I looked at them, it would look like this. I was literally like Mr. Magoo. You remember Mr. Magoo?
Oh,
so do you have like really big glasses now? Like, do you have like?
I can't even wear glasses because it's a weird thing. But like, I can only wear these contacts that are enormous and they press against my eyes. But I relate to Mr. Magoo, the cartoon that made blindness funny. Apparently,
Yeah.
I did. It was
Played
so
by-
incorrect. So incorrect.
Played by Thurston Howell III, by the way, right? Jim Backus.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Jim
pinch me, Lovey.
Backus.
I'm
Would you
dreaming.
pull that out of your, like?
Soup, listen, when you're an expert
That
in the
is good
field,
trivia
as I
right
am.
there. I wouldn't. Look
Yes.
at you, Mr. Magoo.
Brian, listen, man, lots to talk to you about because you not only were you've done it behind the camera in a big way, but you're also a guy who loves to be in front of the camera, show guests on all these different shows. People call on you for the latest in pop culture. But
also in HGTV, you've transitioned into this, like,
we got to talk about
this
HGTV.
This HGTV Svengali behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, listen, you've been doing it all for those guys too. What a Flipper Flop and House
Christine on the
Hunters, was it
Coast.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, I was at kind of on camera doing my thing. Whenever someone canceled, they'd call me, and then when I was behind the scenes,
that's my line now. Whenever they cancel, they call me.
Right.
Okay, now we call. And then I was an executive for many years at HGTV. So then I started my own production company because why not start a business during the pandemic? That's
Absolutely. And we'll get into all of that. But first, I am going to sing you the first bars of a song, and I want you to tell Suki why I'm singing you those bars. You ready?
Okay.
Here you go. One boy for sale.
Oh.
He's going cheap, not a pretty penny.
Okay, that is a song. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to stop your performance.
Go ahead.
No, that was because that's really good. That was from Oliver.
Yes.
And like the moment that I came out of my shell, I was 11 years old, and I was cast in the role in a regional production of Oliver. Because, by the way, if you're 11 and blonde, you got a good shot. And I actually could sing, but I was really shy at the beginning. But by the end, I was like, "Who will I?" I was really shy. It kind of got me out of my shell. I was very insecure until then.
That's incredible.
And Oliver kind of changed it all. That was when I realized I loved music and loved the stage. And
so were you in drama and theater in high school in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I was the only sports I could do did not involve a moving object. Like, you know what I mean? Like a ball coming at me or near me, I would get out of its way, you know. So but I could run, so that I would run, and then I did theater. So that was good.
I love it. Now, did you have to say, please, sir, can I have some more?
Absolutely. Yeah. You hold up the bowl and you get some more. And yeah, it was really wonderful. I grew up in the Poconos, and we did about 30 performances.
Were you near the Nevele? At the Nevele?
No, that's in the Catskills. Suki, that's in the
whatever.
I was running with the beautiful Mount Terry love.
Oh, you were right.
With the heart-shaped.
Yes.
Cohaven with the heart-shaped tub.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I would totally go to now. Like, I would go to Cohaven. I don't know if I get in the tub.
That's
you
so
get in the
funny.
tub. They probably sanitized it now. It's all good.
I was a little wiped down first.
Yeah. And you grew up in Honesdale, Pennsylvania, which is near and dear to my heart, because when I was a kid in summer camp, I went to camp in Orson, Pennsylvania.
What was the name of your camp?
Camp Westmont back in the day. And it was Orson, Pennsylvania. Which one?
Did you have a specialty, or was it just like drop your kids off here?
No, it was just, it was like the movie Meatballs. That's what it was like.
Okay, so I worked at Tyler Hill Camp, where I was Tyler Hill, the camp piano player.
Yeah.
They had a piano player, and it had a 9-hole golf. I work at a camp for spoiled children. And so,
everybody in my town goes to Tyler Hill still.
Wait, was it owned by Jay Jacobs at the time?
Oh gosh, this is a long time ago.
Oh, okay, because he owns Tyler Hill now and Timberlake. Yeah,
I think
he owns Tyler Hill and Timberlake
before that. Which, by the way, before it was a camp, it was like a resort. It was big stars went there. But yeah, I was the staff piano player.
Oh my God, that's so
that's
funny.
Amazing.
I love it, man. I love it. So listen, you're doing your thing, and in right around 2014 or so, you become the co-executive producer for The View, right?
Yeah.
And how does that come about?
Yeah, you were doing news at that point.
Yeah,
you were doing like MSNBC.
Well, it's very wild. So I fell into news, and then I was at the Today Show. I launched Kathy Lee and Hoda, and then I did that for a little bit, and then I went to HGTV for about a few years. And then I was like, I want to change. I really love new chapters. Life is so short, and I want to do everything, which is why I'm doing on camera and behind the scenes and making a drink video and then putting.
I love those drink videos.
Thank you.
I was going to say, what are you drinking right now?
Oh, right. I am drinking. I'm drinking mezcal. I'm doing keto, kind of like a lazy keto, but I'm doing mezcal, this like 5-calorie juice that you can buy at the stores. I don't know if you've seen that one. And Fresca, which is 0 calories. And I take a drink every time I see bananas in the open, because Sukanya, your potassium levels are in good shape. Like, I was looking at that.
There's bananas back there?
No, there's no bananas on the hook.
Oh, I thought they were on the hook.
I know, they're always on the hook. We're missing them. Friday is shopping day. We will have bananas on the hook.
Because I was like, Dennis DeYoung has all these like gold platinum records behind him, and I look like I'm at the cafeteria at Epcot. And then I'm like,
I have bananas at a sink.
Bananas, no bananas, bananas. I was taking a shot.
I love it. Brian, when you started at The View, was it as insane as everybody thinks it would be with Barbara Walters and all the different personalities and whatnot?
Okay, so when I was there, it was Whoopi, it was Rosie Perez. Rosie O'Donnell had come back for the second time.
Right.
And then it was I had worked a little bit with Barbara. We would have her in on Thursdays, which would air on Fridays. What was interesting about it at the time, though, was like, in full disclosure, it had been for many years executive produced by Bill Getty, and they decided, decided to make a change and bring in an executive producer and then myself. But the interview process was like, can you meet at the secret hotel and don't tell anyone? And I was like, secret meetings? I'm like all about the secret meeting. I was like, yes. Yeah. And it was a nice hotel, so I knew that'd be like good food, and I was gonna order the food. I would like, go to a secret meeting, and then I hear nothing for like a month, and then can you come tomorrow? I'm like, I would drop everything, and so I will say I had been spoiled from having been in long form. HGTV is not live; it's like tape stuff that takes like 9 months, right?
Yeah.
Then to jump back into live,
different animal.
It was, and I actually will say I still miss the energy of live. I love that we're live. I love the excitement. Oh yeah, that was the cat, Nicole Wallace. Oh, I love her. And okay, this is where I said to Nicole Wallace, I remember this so vividly one morning because Nicole's doing great. She's on MSNBC now. Her show is fantastic. And there was a time when there was this kind of like, do we do pop culture on there or do we not? And is she right for that? And I'm like, Nicole, this is a lily pad job for you. This is the job that's going to get you the job that you want. And even if she hadn't done The View, she would have been fine. So and I'm not some mystic seer, but I was just like, yeah, okay.
Definitely elevated her profile.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I will say there was drama. There was definitely drama, and there were definitely surprises that I had not expected. And in full disclosure, I just finally said that it wasn't the right fit for me after a very brief period of time. I didn't even say a year. And I think it was the right thing to do. And I don't think that, I'm sure they tried to keep, I was worried about people thinking I had been fired. I was a thing in my head, like, what if people think I got fired? And then someone said to me, like, people get fired all the time. Yeah. Nobody cares. And I was like, oh, wow. And that was like to do the whole
cleansing.
Album. It was like, wow, yeah, you know what? Who cares? I'm not happy. But I would jump back to live in a heartbeat if it were the right thing.
I think that's why we did this show, because we missed the whole live aspect of our lives. You know,
and you know what's great, Brian? We can't get fired. That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah,
we can't get fired from this show.
Yeah,
right.
We just do what we want to do, and it's so awesome.
And did you think
really nice? It's really nice, and you're everywhere. I mean, I saw that page. You had like, I haven't seen that level of contagion since monkeypox. Like you're everywhere. It's all over the place.
It is like monkey.
That's key, is getting as many eyeballs on it as possible, and that people can find it. That's like in this world of so much content, the key is being found, and the beautiful thing is like you're everywhere. I love that.
We've done over. This is probably close to our 340th show.
Is it really, Scotty?
That we've done. Oh yeah, in the last 2 years, 340. When you were picked to launch and start the 4th hour, did you know right off the bat that Hoda and Kathy Lee would have such a great chemistry together? Because like this show, like Suki and I, that is the most important thing.
Yeah, it is.
Any show with two people, if they don't have chemistry, you have nothing.
Right. Well, you're exactly right. And that's where I kind of like, even when people ask me about the show, I'm kind of like, I get to reap the benefits of what was amazing chemistry. And so I didn't, they could just sit there and on a blank stage and be entertaining. So I'm fortunate enough to be, the beneficiary of what was great chemistry. I will say this, Hoda can work with anybody.
Right.
And Kathy Lee just bounces off the screen. She is just, and you know what, there's an element of, I've done this, there's no one can hurt me like I've already been hurt, because she really was treated unfairly, I think, when she was on Regis and for a lot of reasons we could do a whole show on. But I think she was kind of like, she cares very much, but she also doesn't care just enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So it's like, I don't care what people will say. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be authentic to who I am. And that is a liberating thing. And I think even Hoda said, like, that is what set Hoda free, because Hoda tells the story herself. Like, you see the cards right there. She's saying today's talk.
Yeah.
And Hoda tells the story of one time, very early on, Hoda was hanging onto her cards, and Kathy Lee took them and threw them. She ripped them and threw them on the ground. And that was like that moment where Hoda was like, oh, and you know what? It is going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Like,
I mean, God, Hoda's a journalist. I mean, she came from Dateline. I mean, she could talk about anything. She could talk to the wall.
They're both brilliant people, so intelligent. So I felt wonderful to be along for the ride. I felt so lucky. I feel grateful and lucky for all the things, even the things that were rough. I'm like, okay, okay, I'm grateful for it now.
Yeah, and you know it was
way, but this was one that was great.
You know, it was fun, and I had met Hoda a few times, and I met Kathy Lee back when she was still married to Frank at a show I was doing a long time ago. And I got to tell you, the two of them, as a red-blooded American male, as I always like to say to Suki, I always found the two of them very sexy too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, just like goofy, and I know they would both go, "Oh yeah, okay, we're over the hill" or whatever.
Oh no, Kathy Lee would have been like, "Hello."
Yeah.
Like, come on
right.
over.
Yeah, right. But I think the two of them are very sexy women as well.
They've got it all, really. You know, they've kind of got the full picture. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you they ain't sexy.
What was the favorite segment you came up with there, and when you were an executive producer? Like, what was one of the segments that were always just you never knew what was going to happen?
Okay, so we started doing this. I wanted to do random questions. I just kind of wanted. I love doing the games. And by the way, here's what's so interesting. This was when I went after I was no longer running the show. I would never put myself on the show if I was running it. Never.
Right.
Not
right.
You
I was going to say, when did you make that transition? I was going to say, were you on the show?
The woman, Tammy Filler, who was
Tammy, sure. She's at E Network now, right?
Yeah, she's at E. And so she and I were running that show together. And then when I left, she took the reins, the full reins of the show. And she then had me back. And then Joanne LaMarca, there's Tammy right there. And then Joanne LaMarca took it after Tammy left. And so I felt very grateful that they would even have me back, because when sometimes people will still say to me, I'd like to pitch Hoda and Jenna. I'm like, do you think they want to hear my suggestion? Nobody wants to hear what the EP 3 times ago wants you to do or suggest. Right. But both Tammy and Joanne and Hoda and Jenna and Kathy Lee, they've all been very gracious about having me back. And it speaks to it speaks to not burning bridges. There was no reason for me to burn a bridge. I was just so thrilled to be there. But I mean, like, keeping relationships are so important. And I think it just speaks to that, like, we all were a family. We always talk about, as you know, you've done the campaigns where it's like the show is a family, but as you know, it's also the producers are such a family unto themselves. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean? Yeah. And so I'm very fortunate that I had cheerleaders and ambassadors there saying, let's have Brian on. I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. Right, and even like when Suk and I used to do the morning show here in New York on 11, the most fun we'd have was not only on camera, but in commercials when we would talk to the producers, right? I mean, just the conversations that would go on with each producer for each hour. We would be, not for air, of course.
Oh yeah, and there's some characters. There are some
characters. There's a lot of characters.
There's a lot of characters for
sure. A lot of self-important people in the business.
Oh yeah, like every type in the book.
So many.
Like every archetype, they all are there.
They are definitely there.
It's unreal. I had mentioned before you came on. One of your biggest things was Otto the Orange in Syracuse, and I think that's you in the outfit right there.
Do I look humiliated? Yeah, that's me.
I think you look
How
very
do you know
proud.
That's you?
No, it's him, Suk. It's him. I guess.
When you look at that picture, here's an important thing to remember. Let's say you got hair in your face or you're sweating and you just want to wipe your forehead.
There's no way to do it.
There's no way. You're literally like this.
And round orb.
I can't. And here's what's crazy about that. Okay, so I did it. We don't have to talk about the year. Let's not get lost in numbers. But it was the same costume through the whole game, and we would switch people halfway through.
Oh,
now I don't want to get into the finances of Syracuse. Not cheap, not cheap. And they had one costume, and second half, I'd have to put on a.
You've been a second guy.
Orange costume. So I did it for one semester. I'm like, this has been nice. This has been great.
Let me ask you a question. Did you have like a dance when you were Otto the Orange? Did you do like any?
Well, so the auditions involved like, presenting a dance of your own. And of course, a college age gay guy. I had props, I had costumes, I had I had choreography, I had the whole thing. And there were actually 6 of us at the time. It was actually the year we named him Otto. It was like in the 90s. And I was the most able and willing to be thrown and caught, because when you're in there, you really can't see. And I was rather coordinated. Like I was like, there was no balls coming at me, so I could be thrown and I could be tossed in the air, and I would just lay stiff and just hope.
I love it, man. I
Someone would
love
catch
it.
you. So I used to do like a lot of the acrobatics, and then some people were better at like a moonwalk and stuff like that.
Out of curiosity, there was no fan in the orb. There was no like connection.
No.
Like,
No little neck fan.
Technology
battery
has-
operated fan to keep it
advancements in
going.
costume mascot technology have come a long way.
It hadn't come along yet.
I did go to, at the time, there was a mascot camp at East Tennessee State University. And it was a cheer camp, and then all of us mascots were there. And there was this guy who was like the camp teacher, and he's like, okay, now for this afternoon, we're going to go over to the daycare center and greet all the little children at the playground. We're going to all just go and say hi to them. Not a great idea. So let me tell you that like most mascots have mean faces. So like, and apparently the kids were not told. So they were things, and they turn their heads and they see like slow-mo like mascots going, and they're like, ah! And they all seem involved. In retrospect, that probably, wasn't the best plan. Traumatized like 20 little children because you don't send mascots their way unannounced, and they're all mean. Mascots are generally mean, except for the orange, which is like, we're gonna win.
That's so funny. Brian, listen, I want to talk about some of the early jobs you had. I want to talk about Joan Rivers, but first we have to pause for this quick message. Hold on.
I'm not gonna lie. When my wife Karen left me, I got scared. A lot of folks said I couldn't do it by myself, but you know what? They were wrong, weren't they, Tiger?
That's right, Dad.
How do I do it? Take it one day at a time. And start with a good breakfast. That's why every morning, me and the little guy here start our day with rutabagas. It's made with real rutabagas.
This tastes like ass.
Colby, you're on warning. Rutabagas boost your immune system, improve your cardiovascular health, even promote reproduction. Well, we don't have to worry about that right now, do we, Tiger?
I miss Mom.
And they taste terrible, so you know they're good for you. I get to the root of a good day with rutabagas. Shouldn't you?
My tummy hurts.
Rutabagas.
I swear to God, those sketches just kill me. All right, so you did stand-up comedy for a minute in New York City. Did that like kind of launch you to want to do all these sketches and everything?
I mean, I've always been a goofball, and stand-up started when I was working at MSNBC, and it was after 9/11 and the years that followed. Did
you take that stand-up class that everybody did for a minute?
I did. I took a stand-up class, and the reason I took it was because I knew that at the end they make you do it.
Right.
And I'm like, if I don't pay money, I'm never gonna do it. But if I pay money, I'm gonna
You'll do it.
I'm gonna do the class. And that was a really great way in. And then I actually did fairly well. Like I did an opening show. I did an opening for Russell Brand at some show.
That's huge.
For a TV special. I mean, I was just okay at it, to be honest. But I'm like, what do I say? How am I going to do it? But I was okay. I shouldn't say I was just okay. It was good. And then I would open for some talk shows. I would do like warm up with. I always thought you were supposed to do stand up. They're like, no, we just want you to make sure they turn their cell phones off. I'm like, no,
turn your auto the orange game out too.
Yeah. Oh, I used to love. I used to love it, and I would still do it now. But there was a time when I was getting older. I'm like, so wait, I'm going to be out until 11 for 5 minutes? 10 minutes maybe? So now I just try. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to try and be funny in other things that I do. I would love to go back to doing it. I missed that. But now I'm like, that was that Rutabagas commercial.
I like the reproduction aspect of
it. Yeah.
And right. And I'm the kid too. I'm like, I actually use the Snapchat filter of the kid. I have a very patient partner who Amazon deliveries will come and be like, and he'll open it up, like not knowing.
Like, what are we doing?
It'll be like a wig and like the Superfection game and like, and you're like, what's happening? Like he doesn't say no, but he's like, how's this gonna figure into?
So Brian, I saw one of the early jobs you had was a trans medium publicity assistant.
Yeah. So
what the hell is that?
And they're like, Scott, I'm seeing the letter M. Is there someone with an M in your life?
Right.
What about S? Is there an S in your no T?
Yeah, right.
So I worked for a publicity firm where I would book these conferences for the trans medium, and I do make jokes. She was legit. She was getting it right all the time. And then we did a morning show in Boston. She did it every year, and she would always burn out the headphones. And she'd bring up the radio station. She always, and I was like, why is she doing me? Like, you know, like when you're like trying to when you want somebody to hit on you. And I didn't really have many dead people in my life at the time, but I'm like, somebody must want to talk to me. Like, she never did me. But I would book all the people, and she would get it right. She was good.
God.
Yeah. So I do believe in that stuff as a result. And I've since had people do that for me that were really, really
good. Yeah. We had John Edwards on the show once.
Good, right?
Well, John wouldn't do anything on the show for us.
Do anything.
And then we had one guy who was big on E. He had a show on E. I can't remember his name.
What's his name? Tyler.
He's
got the family.
Yeah, Tyler.
It is Tyler though.
He did a reading for us, like. Yeah, and he was okay. And then we had another woman, Suk, if you remember, she was in her car from not the Long Island medium, but she was on Long Island.
Yes. I forgot her. She was really good.
She was okay. She got some stuff but it's always like you said, oh, is there an M? Is there an S?
Well, and they always are. I will say that there were some like
David Wolf said Tyler Perry. No, not Tyler Perry.
No, it's Tyler. What is his name? But there are also something like, I'm seeing a ring, and everyone's like, me, of course, because rings really are passed down. So like some things she would say, I'm seeing like a gold ring, and they're like, and like 30 people would raise their hands because a lot of people. So there were some common things, but I will say there were some really remarkable ones. But it stands to reason, like not everyone's going to have a good day every day.
Yeah, no. And, the other thing I wanted to ask you about was I noticed you did a whole profile with Joan Rivers back in the day.
Yeah.
What was that like? What was it like hanging out with Joan Rivers?
It was how I got myself on the Today Show the first time on air. So Joan had put herself on Match.com, and she didn't tell anybody. But also, Joan was a master of publicity, so she had to know someone was going to figure it out eventually. Because even the profile shot was like a vaguely disguised her. It's just her in sunglasses. And so I go to do a tape spot, but I book 2 cameras. Now, there was no correspondent coming along, but I just booked 2 cameras. So it's like, I think she'll be better playing off of someone. And I'm like, why not have it be me? So I literally just dressed up and sat across from her and interviewed her with cameras on both. Never really asked permission until that day. And it was really fun. And then we took her on dates. And it was a fun little spot. And then a couple months later, it was like November 20th. And it was like a few days before Thanksgiving. And I was getting ready to go home. And I get a call from Joan's assistant, Matt Stewart. And he's like, Joan had a couple cancellations. Would you and Dennis like to come for Thanksgiving? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, Mom, Dad, I can't come. Love you. Bye. Because I'm like, would you not cancel?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then we got invited to a couple Passover dinners. One time I look at the placeholders and I'm sitting next to Joanne Worley from Laugh-In.
Oh my God, Joanne Worley.
You remember Joanne?
Yeah, with the black hair.
And one time I just happened to be in Spokane, Washington for a shoot, and show was she. So she took, I love this Joan Rivers story because people think she's just, biting and, sass. And some people think she's mean, but we were eating dinner at the casino. And this guy comes up to her and says, my wife loves you. And she's like, it's always the husband saying, my wife loves you. So she takes the bracelet off of her wrist and gives it to the guy and says, give this to your wife. Well, he's touched, he's going to tell everybody. She's going to tell everybody. And then he walked away and she goes, I wear extra jewelry so I can do that.
Oh, wow.
And she always wrote thank you notes for everything you ever gave her. And she was so gracious. She always remembered, who my partner was. She's like, how's Dennis? Like, I forget names the minute they're said to me. There's something that happens when someone says a name to me that I'm just.
It just goes in and out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that I have a trouble with it, at least. I have to really, really work at it. But she was just lovely. And she was kind of a mentor. She really was. She really, and the thing is, I will say, I'm not unique in this situation. I would like to be able to say that I was special to her and she's treated me very specially, but a lot of people will tell you the same thing, which is even more lovely.
It's wild. That's wild. What a great career. Listen. I want to. You and Suki are going to team up in this game we're about to play.
All right.
Because I know you're a big celebrity pop culture guy.
Oh, we
Suki's-
didn't ask him about Adam Levine and Bahati.
Oh, that's coming up.
Okay,
we addressed Adam
Oh, we're
Levine
gonna do
yesterday.
topics?
Brian.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We'll do that. But I just wanted to. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put up a picture of celebrity. Could be anybody, and look at the face. You tell me who it is.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Oh, do we have to buzz it? Do we just have to say the answer quickly?
You guys
quickly.
Work it through together, Brian. You have
we're
5
gonna
seconds.
do together. Okay.
5 seconds for each one.
5
If
seconds.
you guys get them all correct, you get the trip and the car.
Mhm.
So here we go. Here's the first one, for example. Tell me who this is.
Oh, that's the guy from Las Vegas. What's his name?
Go ahead, Suki.
Oh my God. Why am I forgetting his name?
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön.
Oh, Wayne Newton.
Wayne Newton. There you
Yes.
go.
That is indeed Wayne Newton, and that's
I
how the
met
game
Wayne
works.
Newton in Vegas. I did a story with him, and he was mobbed every second.
Oh,
What an
I
amazing
imagine
life
so.
he's
He
had.
was just wonderful. He was just so nice.
This is gonna. I'll be amazed if you guys get this.
You
one.
know what
It's
I was
a-
going to
it's a very
say?
big
Engelbert
celeb.
Humperdinck, but I knew
Oh.
it was wrong.
So I
Engelbert,
sing.
Engelbert vibe right now. I love Engelbert.
So I sing you to sleep.
After
That was my
love.
parents' song. That was their song. And now when I look back, I'm like, ew.
What are you,
love
Dad?
it.
You're singing
Nothing about
"Mommy to
that
Sleep"
storyline
after the
I was-
loving.
Yeah. Sing quietly to yourself.
See if you guys could tell me who this is right here.
David
Oh
Bowie.
my, get David Bowie. Yeah.
It is not
Sir Paul
David
McCartney.
Bowie. It is. I'll give you a clue. It is not a musical celebrity.
Wow.
It is a comedian / actor.
Oh, what's his name? The British guy that always pisses off people at the
Ricky
Golden
Gervais,
Globes.
is it?
Who do you like? Who'd you say, Brian?
Ricky Gervais, right?
Ricky Gervais is the right answer. Isn't it wild how it looks like David Bowie, but now you see it's Ricky Gervais, right?
Yeah. Wow. I want to soak that in for a minute.
All right.
Wow.
Here is celebrity number 3.
That's not Sharon Stone, is it?
Not Sharon Stone. It's not Sharon Stone. Look at the face. Soak in the face.
Look at the denim jumper. That's
Look
gonna
at-
be the
look at-
I was looking at the jumper and the
Wait.
mm.
Okay.
Ben Affleck's wife, the first one, Jennifer.
Garner?
No, Suki.
Jennifer
Good.
Garner?
That's a good
Jennifer
answer,
Garner, I was
though.
thinking
That's a
about.
good
What's the
answer.
hint? Can you give us a clue?
Let's see if I give you a clue, you'll probably get it, but I'll.
Good.
Okay, so lots of PDA.
Oh, lots of PDA. Oh God.
Wait, I'll give you another clue, but you'll get it from this one.
Okay.
Drinks her partner's blood.
Oh, that's
Oh.
Megan Fox.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow. Yeah. What is going on with that?
What is going on with that?
Listen. All right, here you go. This one I think you guys will get. This one should be fairly easy. Who is that? Tell me who.
Sly Stallone.
Oh,
No.
good answer, but not Sly Stallone.
It's the guy from King of Queens, that comedian. What's his
Yes,
name?
Suki. Kevin James is the
Wow.
right answer. Okay. Now this one I'm giving to you backwards. He was a child star. So I want to show you who he is now. If you could tell me who he was before, I will be very impressed from the two of you. Here you go. And I don't even know his name. It's just the kid from, and you'll know who it is when I show you. But who is this kid
Oh, that's the guy from Jonathan Lipnicki
from?
from Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
Nicely done, Brian.
Someday, when there's
Nicely
a picture, everyone can guess how I've let myself go. You know, he's an exception. He's not doing great for himself. Is it sad that the kid with abs? I'm like, yeah, him. I know that one.
Yeah. And apparently he's got a Jewish star tattoo, I see.
Right.
All right, this one you guys should get fairly easy.
Oh, Leno.
Oh,
yeah.
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno is the correct answer. A couple more to go. How about this one?
Oh.
How about that one? Who is it? Look at the
All
face.
grown up now. All grown up now, right?
All grown up now. He is a movie star.
Okay, have the years been kind? That's
The years have been kind.
And the hair is still there?
It's not
the
Ryan
hair-
Gosling. It's not.
The hair is still there. I'll give you another clue. I believe Taylor Swift has written a song
Is that
about
Jake
him.
Gyllenhaal?
Jake Gyllenhaal is indeed the correct answer. my
Wow.
friend.
Wow.
The years have been good to him.
Yeah, oh yeah. All right, two more to go. I think you'll get this one fairly easy.
Oh, Britney Spears. Yeah.
Britney is the right answer. And then
not much to talk about there. There's a special hour on Britney. Yeah.
Our final.
Why did she need a school photo? Right?
That was when she was still a Mouseketeer, maybe.
Here we go. Final one right here. Who is that?
Oh,
Stiller,
that's
right?
Who was it?
Is it Jerry Stiller? No. Who is it?
Yeah, Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller is the correct answer. There you go. It looks at a quick glance. It looks like Seinfeld a little bit, right?
I loved him in Annie.
It's unbelievable. So anyway, Brian, the other day we were talking, I think it was last night, we were talking about the Adam Levine stuff, right? And I just thought it was just, it was insane how not only do you get caught, with the texting and whatever with all the various girls, and of course now you have more coming forward, but asking the one if it's okay to name the new baby after her.
That's the ultimate receipt. Like,
yeah.
I was gonna say, like, if there's any chance, like, people can fake in DMs and they can fake texts, but if he did actually say to his wife, "What about Sumner?"
Right.
That's what blows it all out.
Yeah.
That's what completely and the fact that he did admit that he's been flirting, because you can't, like I said, like, if you're at all good with Photoshop, you could make it look like anybody texted you. But I think the Sumner thing, I do think that came up.
It's crazy.
Have you ever been at an interview with him or had any personal interaction with Adam?
Just concerts, but nothing personal with him.
I interviewed him at a junket once, and he wasn't very nice to me.
No, he wasn't a nice guy.
He wasn't. I wanted Mark Ruffalo and him and Keira Knightley, where they were in a movie together, and I can't remember the name of it. And and I will say at the time, I'm like, well, it's been a long day. But Mark Ruffalo was amazing. But Adam, I felt like I started to question myself, because it was like every question I asked, it was just not hitting.
No.
But I think this is I was actually going to do a story on this, like why it's such a fascinating story. One, it's because like pretty people problems, like you could be married.
She's pregnant,
right.
maybe.
Yeah, that's one. And then like the fact that like we want to believe that pretty people that are married to pretty people aren't going to have like. You're married to a Victoria's Secret. Like, it's on paper, this should not be happening.
We go back to what Howard Stern always says: you're only as good as your options.
You're only as loyal as your options, Brian.
Oh, God.
So if you have options, you kind of go there.
It's right. It's
oh my God, right?
And after a while, it becomes the same old, right?
Yeah.
It's like me at the McDonald's value meal. I'm like quarter pounder, Big Mac.
Sometimes you want the extra pickles.
Oh, we always want the extra pickles, and we always supersize them.
It's so funny. And Brian, listen, man, just an absolute pleasure to have you on. But before you seem like a guy who likes to sing. You seem like a guy who, if you were on a singing contest,
what song would you sing for $1 million?
Right, for $1 million. You have to pick one cover song. What's the one you sing best in the shower? What is it?
Oh, man. Well, I do have a special file on my phone for karaoke, so it can be like, I don't want to, and then be like.
No, I don't want to do it.
And the reason I do keep the file is because in the moment it doesn't come to me. But I like a little "Isn't She Lovely?" Oh, you know what I do like? Any kind of Backstreet Boys song where you can get the audience involved, because if you get the audience involved,
it's a win.
Tell me why. Everyone's gonna
ain't nothing but a heartache.
And that's an ageless song. Everybody knows that chorus. So there's my.
Except if you ask my kids, they would not know. They're like, "Who's that?" Oh, that's like olden times.
That's the whole.
They go olden times.
That's so funny. I mean, we had. Where the hell did he go? I had a picture of you with. Hold on one second. We had Joey Fatone on with us.
Oh, he's so great. And Nathan Morris from Boyz II Men. This was a pinch me moment. Look at me with my head.
Yeah.
And by the way, the amount of second in, I do like this whole position where I'm like, if I just lean back and then this. That's Nathan Morris's house from Boyz II Men. And Joey Fatone lives down the street. Two of the nicest guys you could ever meet. And I did an innovation show with Nathan Morris.
Yeah, he was great. He was on through Game Show Network, promoting his show. And of course we made him sing a little bit. But what a nice guy.
Yeah, he'll be working for the rest of his life. He's just one of those guys that people enjoy working with, and he brings the party. I went to the Kentucky Derby with the two of them.
You did?
Oh my God.
Yeah. And can I tell you one more story before it's over? Okay, so I'm talking to who's all dressed down, and I'm like talking about how I love to leave the party early. And Nathan, and I'm like, I'm gonna leave. And I said, I'm always the first to leave. And this woman goes, I am too. And Nathan goes, didn't you want a picture with her? And I'm like, okay. And it was Peppa.
Oh,
really? From Salt and Pepper?
And I can't find the picture, but it was Peppa. We were all at the Kentucky Derby together.
What a man! That's what a man! What a mighty good man!
Yeah.
Brian, this kid hurts herself during every show.
She's
It's
got blood
unbelievable.
coming.
It's unbelievable.
You know what? She slipped on a banana peel.
Tell Scott. Say,
There's
Scott,
bananas
I'm bleeding.
What happened? What
I'm worried
happened?
she slipped on a banana peel. There's bananas everywhere.
There are bananas everywhere. She's bleeding.
Oh my
no.
God! Somebody in that
Yeah, right?
house gets hurt every show, Brian. It's amazing.
It's the second drinking game.
I love it.
I know.
Listen, my man, absolute pleasure to have you on, buddy. You've
Thank
had
you
some
so much.
career and continued success, and you never need to launch a fifth hour of the Today Show with two people who can get it done for you.
The
We're
three
here
of us
for you, my friend.
Be there.
We're here for you. But
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, Brian.
Thank you, bud. And continued success with the HGTV stuff. And
do the renovations in the house. I love the peel and stick that was going on in your
Thank you. I'm about to post one about my potting shed, because what potting shed doesn't need a renovation? You guys kick me out, or do I have to leave? I'm never good at this part. You know when a face.
I got you, bud. I got you.
What happens next?
Take care, my man. We'll talk soon.
Bye, Brian. Take care.
See you, bud.
Do you know he made that background? He made that background. He showed everybody how he. Go to Brian Balthazar's Instagram page, guys. He does a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, he got
from drinks to renovating houses to watching. It's funny.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, Sook, another show in the can.
I love you just in time because there's blood rolling down. I gotta go triage that.
All right, go ahead. You go. I got a little special treat for everybody with little David.
Have?
I got David Higgins is going to play. I have him from a previous show.
Oh, excellent.
Really good song. So we'll see you guys later. A little treat with David Higgins coming up. And we'll see you next. We got shows coming up like you wouldn't believe. We love you guys. See you later on. Here's a little David Higgins on the way out. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
It's the Kings and Queens. And also, thank you guys so much for having me on. I really,
of course,
really appreciate it.
Look forward to it. Go ahead, my friend. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you. Come here, darling. Help me out, find this thing I've been dreaming about. Fought through fire and I cut my brow to find this thing I've been dreaming about. Take my eyes and take my trust. When we die, we're just ash and dust. Take my body and I'll take yours, and together we'll be. 'Cause I've been driving all night long to find some place where I belong. And I might start to lose myself if I don't find some place where I belong. 'Cause we are kings and we are queens. Together we'll rule over everything. So let us dance, let us drink, and let us live like kings and queens. Come here, darling, let's run aground, 'cause this river's gone too far now. Take my hand, we're climbing out, 'cause this river's gone too far now. I've been driving all night long, find some place where I belong. And I might start to lose myself if I don't find some place where I belong. 'Cause we are kings and we are queens. Together we'll rule over everything. So let us dance and let us drink, and let us live like kings and queens. Hey. And I might start to lose myself if I don't find some place where I belong. 'Cause we are kings and we are queens. Together we'll rule over everything. So let us dance and let us drink and let us live like kings and queens. 'Cause we are kings and we are queens. Together we'll rule over everything. So let us dance, let us drink, let us live like kings and queens. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. 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 And let us live like kings and queens.
Wow.
Wow.